And hello and welcome back to Trails into Reverie. Last time we hit another stopping point, and it feels like we're going to hit a lot of stopping points very similar, and we're all going to be forced into the Reverie corridor. So I feel like I'm just going to keep going until we hit that, right? And then probably hang out in the Reverie corridor for a long-ass period of time, because I was hoping to do it in between acts, and if they're going to give me an excuse to be like, oh, we're in the Reverie corridor for a reason, we're going to go do Reverie corridor stuff for a while after that. I would intend at the very least. Now we're on to Reen, so let's go Reen it up over here. Former Chancellor's office, nice. Thank you for giving up so much of your time today. I appreciate you helping us attend to the aftermath of recent events. Of course, we can turn a blind eye after seeing it for ourselves. We feel investigating the coup d'etat further is our responsibility as much as anyone's. We've rounded up most of the people involved by now, though, haven't we? I believe you have. And with Princess Alvin and Elise's assistance, we are able to look into suspicious relatives of fellow students as well. There are some suspects still at large, but it's only a matter of time before they're in custody. I'm so pleased I was able to help. Outside of the tag-along stuff. Oh, your tag-along thing has been fun. Whenever it's come up and I've had that opportunity, just hit that plus 80 CP. Our classmates seemed genuinely shocked to learn what their relatives were up to. I can't say I blame them. I think they could hold off on the crazy until the things in Crossbell calm down, but by the time it's on point since the EDF showed up here too. I would assume they're linked, yes. I've been aware that some in the army were opposed to the ceasefire and subsequent downsizing of the military, but it's frustrating to not have seen the extent of the opposition coming until after they made the move. You can't blame yourself for this, Representative. I mean, honestly, maybe they should. Maybe he should. But that just means, like, as I always talk about for blame and stuff like that, learn from it, right? What is what it is, right? As it currently is. Besides, maybe this works out better. Gives you a chance to take out the obvious trash instead of sniffing it out for yourself. That's true. With so many of them confirmed to be in custody, we shouldn't have to worry about the capital for a while now. Plus, the information we got will make it easy for Dad and General Van Dyke to take action. We each have all burdens to bear here, so it's best to focus on what you can do as the current head of our nation. I'm sure Marcius is also doing what he can in Crossbell. Indeed, you've hit the nail on the head. I don't have time to dwell on past mistakes or what I should have done with Crossbell as it is, and the prince and lady still missing. Alright, I think we've covered all we can on the coup d'etat problem. Let's turn our focus on the other big issue we need to think about. Rufus. It's not possible for him to be both near the capital and running Crossbell at the same time. So then, who did we see? You said he requested an investigation into that, right, Milliam? Yep. While we are taking care of the coup stuff, it should be about...
My apologies for the delay.
Ooh. Lovely timing.
Just the gal we need. What's the word, Claire?
Well, it took longer than I'd hoped, but this information came directly from our sentries near the border. They confirmed that Crossbell's new Supreme Leader never left the state while C was active.
Then he wasn't lying.
Yeah, there really are two Rufuses.
But how is that possible?
It isn't. It's preposterous, even. Or so I would say had we not seen him in the flesh.
He played us enough to be the real thing.
He sure did. First he calls himself C and sets things up so we'd make our way to the capital. Then he gets us to take care of that coup for him, while he gets away with whatever info the EDF provided him.
Using every means at his disposal has always been his way. And this was no exception.
Then are we in agreement that the Rufus in Crossbell isn't the real one?
The evidence seems to point that way at present. Perhaps it is also my hope that it points that way.
I doubt it, since I'm inclined to agree. Rufus acting the way the Supreme Leader does after what he went through doesn't make as much sense to me. You had to have had an effect on him in some way at the Imperial Fortress, Eustace.
I would like to believe that as well. Have you learned anything more about the 3 children accompanying him?
We're still looking into them, I'm afraid.
I know our side can't talk, but they were strong as hell for being kids.
All I can confirm from my end is that no record of them exists in the Intelligence Division's database.
Too underground for even the ID to pin down means it'll be extra tough for us.
It's best to assume they and whoever was controlling the airship are hired help.
It should have been impossible for your friends to win. Usus, members of Class 7, please, tell me why.
It's because you refuse to rely on anyone but yourself. We won't be getting anywhere wondering what he's up to here. I propose we move on using the one lead he provided.
If you wish to know what befell the Courageous Two, make for the Nord Highlands.
Do you feel you can trust his word enough to warrant going to the Highlands, Rean?
If anything else, I did get the impression that he is actively against the Supreme Leader. There's likely some ulterior motive behind telling us that lead. But Usus is right that we should use it. Especially if there's any chance we can help Crossbell in the process.
I'll respect your decision, of course, but...
Some of us will have to remain in the capital.
Yeah, I was about to say, I feel like there's a high probability we're going to be going that Lloyd route and just sort of like splitting up the group even more, and like each act getting a different group of people to add to the Reverie corridor and all that sort of stuff.
The aftermath of the coup d'etat requires some attention before it can be considered resolved.
I'll stick around for it. May as well see it through. It'd be good to hit up the entertainment district and the Bracer Guild for info while I'm here too.
Gaius is in the middle of an investigation of his own in Nord, I think. There should be enough people if you meet up with him and anyone else who's up east.
Muse is also planning to travel from the branch campus to join him.
But will that be enough under the circumstances?
Then will we suffice?
Ooh.
Huh? Kurt! And hello there again. Sounds like you've been making some headway into the investigation.
Someone who's very interested in Oliver's location, I imagine.
About your lead. Since our father is still occupied in the west, we will be accompanying you in his stead. May we Vanders be of great service.
Fantastic. Yeah. Okay, really? Are we gonna get him as like a party? Have we had him as a party member before? In the Cold Steel games. The next morning, Muse arrived as planned from Leaves and reunited with the group. Yep, okay. Just like with Lloyd's, basically just drop everyone and then get a new party for this next act. I'm not against that. Ash is like Ash and Altina are some of my favorite people to have in the party. So I'm a little sad about that, but you know. They then waited for the freight train, which Claire had arranged to take them to Nord to depart. Hey, Alphen, join the group. Do it. Okay. So if he has that voice, we are going to be transferring onto an RMP train part way through the trip. We should hopefully reach Zender Gate around noon. That'd be great. Then we can start investigation right away. Thank you all for coming to see us off. I apologize for showing up so suddenly and creating all this disarray. Not at all. I was glad to have the opportunity to see you again. I'm sure my brother's disappearance must be weighing heavy on your heart, too, Lieutenant Colonel. My worries pale in comparison to the heartache you must feel, Your Highness. Rest assured that I will do all that I can to put you at ease as soon as possible. Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel. You also have what might be the silliest voice in the entire series, as an FYI. Sort of unfortunately. I'm counting on you too, Musek, because it sounds like someone doing a voice. The problem with his voice isn't his actual voice actor or anything. Is that it sounds like someone doing a voice. I'm counting on you too, Musek. Of course. I'll take good care of our dear instructor in your and Elisa's stead. Oh, but don't fret. I won't let my personal feelings get in the way of my work. Is this really the time?
What's wrong? Our group is pretty stacked for this, so I don't think you need to worry.
I am worried, but not about that. We all refrained from voicing our concerns yesterday, but you're not going to take on too much to compensate for what those soldiers said, are you? The ones from the underground.
The hero thing.
You're a filthy traitor, Ashen Chevalier! So many of us joined the army to follow in your footsteps, only for you to trample all over our ambitions. You couldn't possibly understand the frustration of those who died in that war, or even those left behind. It's time you took responsibility for your actions.
It's true. Their words did affect me.
As much as it is unfair to put that on him, there's never going to be a situation where someone has an opinion completely unfounded. No one believes something for no reason. There will always be a kernel of truth to why an opinion is formed, and you can take something valuable about that. The trick is not taking anything to... Not taking it as a whole. Not taking it as, like, absolute truth in any capacity. Being able to learn from it, but not, like, acknowledging it as some objective alternative to what's already established in your knowledge, right?
They reminded me that for some, the war never really ended.
Yeah, and that is something important to keep in mind moving forward. We can't just assume everyone's going to be agreeable with how we want the world to move forward, and we have to be able to work with them moving forward, right? We have to be able to make the country work for that mentality as well. Maybe we can't bring about another war. That probably would be an irresponsible way to handle it. But there are other ways that we could potentially sit down with them and try to understand what would be the best way to make things the best for everyone involved, right?
Try to see them as the exception they are.
No. It just means there's... whatever. I know we can't, like, please everyone, but we can try to make it a I say this more from, like, a nation-building perspective, where the point of a nation is to try to provide the security and opportunity and try to give as much opportunity and freedom to pursue without other people trampling on that opportunity as well. To pursue that happiness in life. I know that their happiness... what achieves happiness isn't as specific as we want to go to war. So there's definitely more things in these people's lives. And this predates any brainwashing weirdness, right? This has existed since the beginning. Maybe it's got amplified by it. But there's very much... It's not something you should ignore. In our current task, it's not really our responsibility to be handling that, but it's something to be aware of. I think it's very good to be aware of. It is healthy to be aware of it. But it's not healthy to, like... What they're basically saying, the burdening element of it.
Exactly. That isn't your fault, Reen.
I know. But it's also not something I can turn a blind eye to.
Yeah, this is why Reen's the best protagonist.
It's only by understanding one another that we will be able to move forward.
Yeah, this is why Reen's the best. I love Reen. Is 100% still my favorite character in this series. I love him. He's such a great character. He's been so, like... Estelle is fun, and I think she's a good protagonist. Lloyd is a bit more blank slatey than some of the other protagonists. Like, in general, his, like, actual characters... Like, he has a lot of background to him and whatnot, but his actual element to him, like, his characterization, especially up until, like, the Cold Steel, where you have, like, this, like, big history that they're playing on and whatnot. He's 100% a bit more... Like, they have a few distinct traits to him, but they leave a lot of room for you to do that. Reen started more self-inserty, but like they gave him like a really fleshed out character arc, and he's fantastic is how they've handled him as a character. I think I got some hate on my comments for Lloyd last time I talked about it, but like the thing about the Crossbell stuff with Lloyd and them is interesting. It's like, as much as I enjoyed Crossbell and they were fantastic games, I do find myself less emotionally connected to, like, their adventures coming after that than I do to, like, Reen's adventures coming after that. Like, it's weird. It's a bit weird, but, like, emotionally, it's more resonant And maybe just because I've played the games more recently, I don't know, maybe that's part of it. I feel like there is definitely a higher emotional resonance to seeing the after effects of all that character arc and development that happened in Erebonia versus the Crossbell stuff, which felt like, I would say the Crossbell stuff has had its like epilogue, like things didn't go smoothly, but the Crossbell games felt sort of like, what's the best way to phrase it? I don't want to misrepresent what I'm saying. It felt like a more complete bow on top sort of character arc for everyone, and everyone can go on and have their happy endings. Obviously they didn't, but it feels like I'm less desiring to see just like the after effects of everything. The Erebonia stuff has a lot more, I'd say, loose ends in terms of that, and as much as it did have like a very, I say, satisfying end to Cold Steel 4 and whatnot, there's a lot of like how you grew and what world that creates beyond that is, I feel, very interesting in a way that I'd say Crossbow does to some extent, just not as well as Erebonia ended up doing. And I know I'm gonna get hated on that. One thing I've learned about this franchise is that the farther back the games are, the more nostalgia there is. Whatever.
At least, that's what I think now.
We just don't want to let that consume you.
Everyone in the Imperial Army bears that responsibility, myself included.
None of us here want you to shoulder that burden alone. Isn't that right? Altina? Muse?
Oh, absolutely. Class 7 is and will always be about supporting one another. I think they've echoed my sentiments. Well then, have a safe journey. If there are answers to be found in Nord, then I know you'll find them.
Thanks. Keep us in your thoughts.
That's also one of the other great things I like about like a well-written character development, is that people grow and people change, but they never really lose that hang-up. You don't just overcome the things, your insecurities. You don't overcome them entirely. Reen having like mini relapses, but being able to cope with it better is such a that is good writing. That is like objectively great writing for how you do character development, in my opinion. I'm reminded of like when I'm not going to name names because it's just going to be like start flame, but there's probably like 20 examples of when like older like legacy characters and franchise are brought back for like when they have to do revivals and stuff like that of newer series, because of course they have to make the movie, they have to make the recognizable brand movie in order to make the money. But when they bring back a character and that character is redoing their character arc in some way, those can be done poorly, for sure. You can sort of undo a lot of that. But in a lot of ways, 100%, it is a realistic depiction of a person for them to, despite their growth prior, to relapse on that growth a bit. Or just still be, like, learning to deal with those weaknesses that they overcome and their growth was a part of before. It is an unrealistic human for someone to just be like, okay, I've learned my lesson. I am now a completely different person now. That is unrealistic. Because really what you do as a human, you don't necessarily completely get over those things. Over time, maybe you will. You'll grow slowly and surely. But realistically, when you go on a journey in the idea of how stories typically work, I say this partly having done a lot of writing and gotten a lot more into doing writing myself over the past number of years. A person doesn't just get over those things. They ultimately learn how to cope with it better, learn how to react to it better. That is because that sort of those insecurities and whatnot are a part of you. You don't suddenly just lose that part of you. You learn how to deal with it better, and then you slowly mold that into a more healthy form of existence via those better coping mechanisms, right? Okay, rambling done. North Highlands. There, they found supper with their friends already waiting for them. Yaius, and who else was out here? Who else have we not seen in Crossbell or... Oh...
There you are.
Sarah.
I hope the trip wasn't too tiring.
And, I think I'm...
Oh,
I'm trying to make sure I'm not kidding, but yep, okay.
And here I thought we'd be getting here first.
We just happened to be on the train right before yours.
I'm glad you all arrived safely. And long time no see, Lieutenant Colonel.
Likewise. It's reassuring to have you with us.
Hey! It's nice to see you. And nice to see you too.
We heard about the attempted coup from Major Revelt. It must have been so hard for you, Reen.
You're kinda worried, but I'm fine. Better than fine now that you're both here. All I have to do is see your face, and it's like my heart feels a little lighter.
Don't say that.
Then it was worth it, huh? But there's no river I wouldn't cross to find you if you needed me.
Oh boy. Okay, so I think what we've learned is that there is no actual, like, custom scene variations on any of these for any of the romantic interests. He's just, you know, flirting with everyone constantly. Maybe this game will be his character arc in order to learn how to cope with that element.
Though magic makes it simple enough to skip the river crossing route if there was an emergency. So don't you forget that all you have to do is call, and I'll be right there.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks. I won't.
But boy, I'm still finding it hard to believe we have 2 Rufuses running around now. I'll cross my fingers the lead from the literal lesser of 2 evils pays off, but we still need to be smart about our approach.
Agreed. There's no telling what could happen. That's all the more reason why we appreciate your and Lady Mildean's attention to this matter.
Oh, I'm more than happy to give it.
Where's Gaius, by the way?
Yeah, speaking of which, Mildean. What was her... Is Muse her... I'm trying to remember. Was Muse her actual name? I thought it was like some... She has like a different official name, and she took on Muse like when she was adopted or something like that. That's like not like her... Like obviously her last name is different, but... I don't remember. I feel like I vaguely remember that.
He's gotten a head start investigating in the Highlands, I believe. A soldier gave us a message saying he intends to convene with us at the settlement.
I see. Then we'll head his way once we've greeted the person in charge here.
I believe he's someone you know?
Colonel Dalton of the 23rd Armored Division, yes. I haven't seen him since his division took stewardship of the gate after the war.
Oh, right. It was the 7th that was in charge of Zender up until last year. The 23rd was one of the new divisions created for the war, wasn't it?
Indeed. With all the changes underway in the army, the 23rd has no general at present. But I hear the colonel's done a stellar job of keeping the division unified in the absence of one.
He sounds like someone who'd more than cooperate with her investigation, at least.
I've already informed him of our arrival. We should go and see him right away.
Gotcha. No objection from me.
Listen, Reem. Don't go biting off more than you can chew. Being an instructor doesn't mean you have to be the strong one in the group 24/7.
But he also is sort of the strong one in the group 24/7.
I didn't have to be because you were there for me. So that means you don't have to be because I'll be there for you. At least I'll try to be.
You just get it, don't you?
I think he's seeing her being an instructor to him. I think that's a nice moment.
Thank you. That makes me feel a lot better.
Good.
Yep, there it is. Gotcha. Sort of a shame they can't just do variations on those a little bit, so that they could actually reflect your choices properly.
Welcome to Zendergate. I've been looking forward to your arrival.
Oh, you are... Yeah, you are... Who? I remember the guy before who's like really helped Gaius and whatnot back in the day. I don't think this is the guy. This is like his second or something, right?
I am Dalton, acting commander of the 23rd Armored Division.
Which follows with what they were saying before, right? Good to see you again, Colonel. Same to you too, Lieutenant Colonel. And it is an honor to finally meet the famous Ashen Chevalier. I've heard much about the Lieutenant Colonel's younger brother too. I wish I could give you all a more formal reception. Please think nothing of it, sir. Most of us aren't even part of the army, much less deserving of a lavish welcome. I quite agree. I'm just an inexperienced student. How modest of you all. I appreciate that. He's surprisingly candid for a colonel. He is. Although I'm sure he must be very capable to have been given command of a whole armored division. Word of the 7th's exploits since the war has reached even here, Lieutenant Colonel. I hear you have been all over the country helping with the reconstruction efforts under Prince Oliver's leadership. What's more, the Vanders have evidently resumed their duties guardians of the Imperial family. They don't call you the Ace of the 7th for nothing. I apologize if that sounded all sarcastic. I did not mean it so. Think nothing of it, sir. I will not attempt to deny my past failings. Still, I am humbled by the honor of serving once more. On the Vander name, I will stop at nothing to prove worthy of it. I feel the same way. Could you tell us what you know about the situation here? Yes. You came looking for clues on the prince's whereabouts. I'm aware you have reason to believe there's something here. Right, and we basically learned in C's route that it was just straight up the EDF that did it, right? No qualms about it. Whatever organization they're operating under, they did it. So it's true. The opposite, I'm afraid. The region has been positively idyllic since the war ended. The Highlands did turn into a battleground during the conflict, but everything's back to normal here now. I was honestly caught off guard by your conviction that something must be here. That's unfortunate. Still, the intel's fresh, even to us. It's no surprise that nothing's been found yet. Indeed. I've had a lot of work at the Watchtower, so haven't had much time to investigate the area. In that sense, you might have more luck speaking with the people of the settlement. You may well be correct. Sounds like Gaius is already there, so I'd say meeting with him should be our first goal. Given the stakes, we intend to fully dedicate ourselves to searching once we have finished getting ready. I have apprised the soldiers stationed at the Watchtower of what is going on too, so it may be worth stopping by there. Either way, you should you learn anything, please do let me know. I will be happy to send reinforcements if needed. Thank you for your kindness and understanding, sir. We greatly appreciate it. Alright, let's get started with the search then. Man, it's been a long time. One of my biggest memories of this was how, in the, limited graphics of the day, they were like, oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. It's like, if you say so.
It's breathtaking.
Yeah, they're gonna do it again. It's much better now, but also it's, PS4. PS4 Falcom level graphics.
Nothing I've heard could have prepared me for just how truly beautiful it is.
It's your first time here, huh?
It is. I've been really looking forward to it. If only the other 3 could be here to see it. Words don't do it justice.
They really don't. I wish I could have let you first see it under lighter circumstances.
It feels like only yesterday that we came here as part of our field studies.
It's moving to think that this is where our ancestor took up arms to fight at Dreikel's side.
It's held a special place in my heart beyond our ancestry, since our uncle and I were stationed here. Regardless, I will make for the Watchtower and set about gathering information there. You should stick to your original plan and reunite with Gaius at the settlement.
I'm alright with that, but...
You sure it's wise to go alone? I think it'd be better if I came with you.
I know how capable you are, Kurt. But there's no need to worry about me. As a soldier, I'll have a much easier time operating a military facility. Should anything happen, however, I will be in touch. Take care.
There he goes.
I hope he's going to be alright.
I was actually sort of hoping he'd be an actual party member, oh well.
I imagine that the prince's disappearance must be weighing heavily on him.
I had the chance to briefly speak with him about that on the train, actually.
I wanted to accompany them on their honeymoon, but Olivier insisted I not go.
Unless he okay, so I think the discussion probably went like this. Oliver was just like... he was just like, I should probably accompany you and guard you on this endeavor. And Oliver's just like, but you know what a honeymoon is, right? He's like, you probably shouldn't go, right? And he's like, I insist. It's like, okay, you can go, but you have to watch. And then Vander's just like, thinking. Maybe. And then Oliver's like, if you're not committed, man, you're not 100% committed, you probably shouldn't go.
I got the impression he wanted to give me some time off to honor the war's end.
Or maybe that might be the possibility, because it's not, because if he went on the nonsense, then he definitely would have have words. He definitely would have had a bunch of people around him. Okay, sorry, brain fart there.
Of all the times that idiot had to go and put my needs first.
I see. I think you're all worrying a little too much about him. I'm talking about one of the finest soldiers in the Imperial Army. Up there, Lieutenant Colonel Neidhart. You should know better than anyone that he isn't the kind of man to act rashly in times like these. Yes, I suppose you're right. I'm sure he genuinely believes this to be the best course of action. We'd be wise to mirror his conviction. Yes, let's get moving. Horsey time! Yeah! Oh, that's the choice. Apparently, the settlement is currently in the same location it was when Em and I visited during our field study. We travel north from here. We should see it before long. We don't want to keep guys waiting. Okay. Let's come in contact with them. Okay. Gotcha. Oh, yeah, I should probably switch that over. Is there a way? Oh, it would have been... No. Oh, well. Oh, I didn't realize there was a...
Right,
quick
let's
jump
go.
on that.
Ready when you are.
I feel like there was something last time where we could like change up who was in what for like the motorcycle. I was wondering if we could do that here too.
Amazing. I've never seen plains so vast.
It's like we're afloat in a sea of green. Words can't do justice to its beauty.
We had the same reaction as students.
I like it even more now that there aren't as many monsters as before.
Yeah, the Armored Division's done a bang-up job keeping the Highlands clean. Now we can ride straight through.
I don't remember how difficult it was before. I wonder how purely accurate this was to what it was last time.
Yeah!
That structure to the right is the watchtower monitoring Calvert, yes?
Yep. And the plateau on the left has got what they call the stone circle.
Oh. Oh.
Yep. And the plateau on the left has got what they call the stone circle.
It's thought to be an old monument from when animism dominated the region.
Oh, okay. So we're basically, there's two ways to go. And we can only really do one of them. Gotcha. That makes sense.
Yeah! We're almost at the settlement. Oh, it feels so great here.
It makes me wish we could keep riding on through forever.
It's a shame we'll have to dismount soon.
It's so nice to see you're both already as much in love with this place as we are.
Yeah!
I'm gonna know. My memories of the Nord Highlands were very much them sort of just be like, oh my goodness, this place is so amazing over and over again. And like legitimately.
We made it to the settlement.
And legitimately, they just do that immediately as we get back into the game again. You get back here again, and they're just like immediately, oh my goodness, I love it. It's so cool. It's so amazing. Maybe they just can't think of anything else to like talk about for the active voice of like riding around for a long period of time outside of being just like loving it and whatnot. Like, no, I don't mind like people liking the place and whatnot, but they sort of just go on and on about it at times, and to the point that like that's one of my biggest impressions from the original time we were in the Nord Highlands, right?
We did, but
yeah, this feels disturbingly empty. Well, not that empty.
This is my first time seeing yurts.
You would normally see more of them. I wonder what's going on.
Already?
Oh.
There's Class 7.
Oh, is that Gaius' brother?
It's so good to see you all again. How have you been?
He looks so much older.
Oh,
Is he an acquaintance of yours, instructor?
I'm not sure that we've met.
Come on, that's not very funny. I know it's been a while, but I knew you from a glance.
Wait, I see it now.
Toma?
You're Gaius' little brother, right? Looks like someone hit his growth spurt.
Did you meet during your field studies?
Yeah. Gaius' family as a whole has been very welcoming whenever we've come to Nord. It's kind of funny to say, but you're getting to be around the age we were on our first visit, huh?
Yeah, that sounds about right. But you really didn't recognize me then? I gotta say, that stings a little.
Sorry, but you honestly do look so much more mature than when we last met. You must be Charles then. You've grown up a lot yourself.
That also sounds familiar. Fuck. Trying to remember what the context behind that was. I mean, like, she doesn't look like she's a, you know, guy's family. And it was from her, you know, clothing. So she was just like, I assume she probably was someone who just came out and, like, lived in the Nord Highlands to get away from different society and find a different way of living or something like that.
You think? Thank you.
Gaius had mentioned you were coming, but I didn't expect you to arrive so soon after he said it. Speaking of which, you should be coming back soon.
Coming back now, actually.
Yeah, yes.
I hope you all had a pleasant journey from the capital. Good to see the winds kept you safe.
Right back at you.
I hope your investigation's been going well.
Sounds like we've arrived at a busy time.
Not at all. Most of the work for moving the settlement has been finished already. But let me make us some tea before we talk any further. You must be tired.
Nord tea is as soothing as I've been told.
It really is. Black tea is relaxing too, but the flavor of these leaves is very distinctive.
I'm glad you approve.
Haven't been able to enjoy a cup of this since your field study.
You tried it then? I would have thought you'd been unable to since you joined near the end of our stay.
That's right. You and Sharon came by to check up on us around the same time. It's weird, the things you forget.
So many morsels. Oh no, they're multiplying.
We have plenty more, so please, have as much as you like.
Is one of them new? I don't remember.
It's too bad you weren't here yesterday to try the cheese we made. It was so good.
Cheese or no cheese, you've given us more than enough of a welcome. My travel fatigue is all but gone. It's amazing seeing how much you two have grown since we saw each other. You look like you're taking after your mom, Sheeta.
You really think so? I'm happy to hear that. And you look even cooler, and Emma looks even prettier.
I think so too. Gaius has always kept us up to date on how you've been and the ways you've changed. You've overcome a great many ordeals on the road to where you sit now. It makes me so proud to see the students we've hosted go on to accomplish so many great things.
You're kind to think of us so much.
Thank you for saying so. I hope we can keep making you proud.
And now my pride extends to you two as well. That's just how mothers are.
Did we ever introduce ourselves to you guys? That's our mom. And we're Gaius's little sisters. I'm Sheeta, and she's Lily. Thanks for being bros with our bro.
He's done far more for us than we have for him, I think. I can see Gaius has a truly lovely family. I couldn't be any more grateful to have them. That extends to Dad too, even if he couldn't be here. I take it he's out of the settlement right now. That's right, he's leading the relocation effort. We're having to move quite a distance too, so you may not be able to see him during the visit. That's a shame. I was hoping to say hi. Still, if you're suddenly having to uproot yourselves and go so far, I take it something significant has happened here. Correct. Upon returning here the other day, I set off to survey the Highlands. Fortunately, I've yet to find anything that would lead us to the location of Prince Olivert or the Nonsense Stew. But I found some unsettling signs in a few easily overlooked areas. Ashes from recently burned firewood and buried remnants of travel rations, for example. In other words, traces of human activity. Yes, and not just one person. I asked Thelma to help investigate, and we kept finding the same signs in more and more places. We haven't heard any talk about soldiers doing training exercises in the area recently, so I doubt that's the explanation. No one in the settlement or at Zendergate claims to have seen any potential suspects either. Well, if they haven't seen anyone, that could be Calvard. Because, you know, disappearing. Regardless of what we're dealing with, we can't risk any harm coming to the people here or our family. So after some discussion, we all decided it would be best to move the settlement earlier than usual. Charl and her father have been helping with the move too. We couldn't be more grateful. I'm so sorry all of this happened when you and your dad were meant to be on vacation. Oh, okay, that's why she was here. Please don't worry, I'm just glad to help. Dad might grumble a bit, but he's pitched in regardless. Either way, it's clear something's amiss here, especially considering the timing. Yeah, it's hard to say if this was what Rufus was referring to, but it's not something we can afford to ignore. When we came here for our field study 2 years ago, we found Jaeger dropouts operating in the area. Perhaps it could be something similar. It's definitely possible. Either way, I decided that I ought to look into it again as soon as you all arrived. I think that's a good idea. We'll join you with all due haste. If the Highlands are threatened in any way, I refuse to turn a blind eye. I quite agree, especially after the wonderful people here served us such wonderful tea. I will spare no effort for a land connected to my ancestors. Your support means the world, truly. We aren't planning to move just yet, so you're welcome to make this your base of operations. I'll do all that I can to help you in my husband's place. I'd like to believe I'm a lot stronger than we last met, too. So if there's any way I can assist, please let me know. We will. Thanks, Thelma. Sheeta, Lily, be good while we're away. We will. Take care. Come back soon. You know what would have been really cool? And I don't expect them to do this, because I feel like they would have done it by now. They could have given us a lot of orders, like tag-alongs specifically. That could be like from like Thelma and other people that have become like more significant. People like that just over the course of the story. And just have them like, give them like a gameplay functionality without making them a party member, and you just have a ton of those. That would be cool. Maybe they wouldn't necessarily be really powerful, but it would be cool to just have that option, right? Where should we begin then? That's a good question. How about we go and speak with the settlement's other visitor? Oh? She's been here since before I arrived myself. I haven't had much of a chance to speak with her, since I've been so busy with the move and investigating. That said, it is someone you all know. Really now? I have yet to see anyone fitting that description around, though. Perhaps she's out at the moment. Someone in my family may know. Shall we go and ask them, then? Sounds like a good start. So... okay, she's over here. I want to try to get stuff going out in the next move. Oh, hey, are you all heading out? Monsoon, yeah, you look awful busy, Cheryl. Oh, this is nothing. I'm used to this kind of stuff thanks to my work at Center Gate. That sounds familiar. My dad's actually the one handling supplies, needed supplies for the settlement's move. We've been working with the people of Nord for years anyway, so he was more than happy to help. I did hear you've been helping Thelma with packing moving. Thank you. You're quite the symbiotic pair now, aren't you? Well, I have known him for years at this point. Looks like they're still going strong. It's cute seeing how smitten she still is. So, yeah, it was how smitten she still is with no action taken on that front. I heard you'd be here for a while, so I set up that yurt for you to stay in. Have plenty of space to sleep. Set up your equipment, so it's perfect. Talk about customer service. Thanks. Make yourselves at home then. Gotcha. This one? Cool. Lots of options.
It's been a while since I was last here. Feels so empty without all the yurts.
Well, once we're back to normal, you'd better pay us a visit. Your students are welcome too, of course.
I wouldn't miss a chance to come back here.
Indubitably. Positive? Ooh. I guess we're missing Yuna. Yeah, I forgot that we haven't had Yuna for any of these in a bit. What's she up to? What did they say she was up to before? I don't remember. Either way, Zio! I'll be leaving the settlement for a while, hoping to count on you to watch over it while I'm gone. Oh, it's been a while. I'm getting kind of worried. Maybe I should ask for help. Someone that we know that's been here. Did he say she... Her. In terms of someone that we've had as a party member before, and isn't in one of the other areas. The principal, maybe? I'm getting kind of worried. Maybe I should ask for help. Something wrong, Sheeta? Oh, I was just thinking of speaking to you all of you. Our other visitor left the settlement this morning, but she hasn't been back since. Gaius was just telling us about her. That you go out onto the Highlands. Oh, Duvalie. Sorry, don't get my hopes up. Don't get your hopes up, Echo. Don't get your hopes up, Echo. Don't get your hopes up, Echo. Alphen, maybe. No, it's definitely Alphen. Yeah, she said something about wanting to take photographs before she left. What? Wait. Okay, so it's not a party member person. Probably just the Thors? Who takes photo? Grace can't be here. Who else would have been taking photos that's like a woman? Because it's Rex and Grace are like the main people. And what's her face? Oh my goodness. She also said not to worry about her since we were all busy with the move. Not Lind, but the other one of the sisters. But we saw her in the capital. I mean, she could have come out here, but it'd be weird for them to use her twice. I guess they moved Rex into Crossbell after that first section, so. Amazon, I'm getting anxious. I hope she isn't doing anything too dangerous. This situation is starting to seem all too familiar. Yeah, this is the exact same situation we went through with Norden from the Imperial Chronicle a few years ago. Really? I wonder if this visitor could be... Anyway, it sounds like we should go and check up on her. I assume she set off to the north? Yes, that's right. I'm not sure how far she could have gone. Let us ride out and look for her then. Gotcha. Okay, I guess we'll go do that then. I see the northern part of the Highlands is just as beautiful as the southern counterpart. Indeed, though it also looks more dangerous. What with all these steep cliffs. Oh, look at that! Been a while. So there's that other giant statue like the one on Bryonia Island. Yes, that's right. This was Lost Zem, the Septarian of Earth. Meanwhile, the one on Bryonia Island was Arc Rouge, the Septarian of Fire. As you are aware, both have long since lost their powers, leaving them as mere shells. I had no idea when I first saw it during our field study that it had such a history. It's hard to believe that Divine Knights originated from them. Shall we start looking then? I can't imagine our visitor could have gone far without a horse. I'm inclined to agree. Hopefully this will be a quick search. Indeed, it'll be a very, very, very quick search. There it is.
Yeah! Yeah!
This place is so expansive that I don't even know where to begin to look.
Do you see that big statue? It's called the Guardian. It would be a nice start, I think.
Not a bad idea. We can branch out into a full search from there.
Right.
Gotcha.
Let's go.
Sounds like a good plan enough.
Yeah!
It does make a good point if they're going out to get pictures. Wouldn't make sense as a place they might have started at the very least.
Get 'em!
Really? Really? What? It's really her. Of all fucking people.
They don't call this one of the Highlands' most famous sites for nothing. Talk about statuesque. Literally.
This is where she went on the signing day? She just went out to fucking... What have you been up to?
Maybe I'll start a listicle of the Empire's best views when I get back to the office.
Isn't that...
Is that you, Grace?
Oh, there you are. I've been waiting for you, Class 7. And you, Divine Blade. Congrats on the upgrade from Ashen Chevalier.
Both those names are admittedly pretty freaking badass. I think I'd like to keep both.
Gaius said there was another visitor, but he kept who a surprise. So it was you.
I was just as surprised to find her in Nord, believe me.
How did you make it to the Empire with Crossbell occupied?
The only way I could have. I wasn't in Crossbell when the occupation went down. Around just before the ceremony started, I got an interesting lead through the Orbal net. So I left coverage of the actual signing to the others and jumped on the next train to Erebonia. Thinking on it now, I'm honestly not sure if I'd call that good or bad luck.
I can imagine.
This must all be very hard for you.
It is. But I've never been one for sitting around sulking when life throws me a curveball. There's gotta be a role for me to play in sorting all this out. The best thing I can do is get out there and take action. I wouldn't be much of a journalist or a crossbellin if I didn't.
That's the Grace we all know so well. Yeah, I mean, Lloyd and Randy are made from tough stuff, but and then there's Grace. People from Crossbell really are built different. So what's this lead you're talking about? It's got to be something big for you to leave a historic moment like the signing ceremony for someone else to cover. Oh, it absolutely is. There was a report that Prince Olivert and his wife had gone missing during their honeymoon. The nonsense too and all. I had a feeling it would involve that. We're actually here following the same case. Yeah, on a tip too, no less. Amusing the fact that you're here in Nord of all places means you found some clue to their whereabouts. That's right, although it's only circumstantial evidence at this point. There's a report that suspicious people clad in black were sighted in the area where the royals went for their honeymoon. You don't thing. The Ebon Defense Force? I bet 1,000 Mira on it. Then there's an unconfirmed report that the EDF was sighted in Nord before and after the Nonsense 2's disappearance. I'm here following up on both leads. So the terrorists who occupied Crossbell and took up arms against the Empire were potentially responsible here too. I found no evidence that they were hiding here or had been in the past yesterday, though. We haven't seen any signs that they have, like, camouflage technology, so... That wouldn't be... basically, they're not Calvert. Yeah, I couldn't find anything either. They really were here. They were clearly good at covering their tracks. But there's no smoke without fire, so clearly something... there's clearly something here in the Highlands. Although I'll admit I'm basing at least part of that conviction on my reporter's instincts. Hey, when your gut talks, we'd be fools not to listen. I quite agree. The likelihood of what happened in Crossbow and the princess's disappearance are connected is higher than ever now. Thanks for sharing what you know, Grace. It really helps. Hey, I just wish I had some solid, conclusive evidence to give you. All I can do is wish you well with the rest of your investigation. I'm convinced that solving this case will lead you to a way to liberate Crossbow. So get out there and give him a hell, Class 7. If you're asking, who are we to refuse? Gotcha. The group then escorted Grace back to the settlement on horseback. Once assured of her safety, they were able to resume their investigation. Sounding like we should go around the southern part of the Highlands, too. Indeed. That area seems less likely, given that it has military facilities, but the truth could have been under our noses all along. I think it's still worth looking there. Speaking of the military, I wonder how the Lieutenant Colonel's investigation is going. Come to think of it, he said he was going to ask around at the watchtower, didn't he? Yeah, maybe we should contact him and compare notes. Could you give him a call, Kurt? Of course. I can't get through. That's strange. The watchtower should definitely be in range from here. Perhaps he's somewhere else further away, or in an area of poor reception, or there's a jammer and it's being attacked. If only we could use the round of 7, then this wouldn't be an issue. Or at least we could understand what was going wrong better. It's frustrating, but there's no point in dwelling on it. We'll just have to explore the southern Highlands while making for the watchtower ourselves. I think you're right. Hopefully you'll be reunited with my brother before long. I'd like to have a closer look at the stone circle and triangular rock that we passed on the way here, too. Shall we depart, then? Gotcha. Allow me to lead the way. Gotcha. Sounds like a plan.
Right, let's go.
Ready when you are.
Oh, look at you two. I found something that belonged to someone while tidying up the yurt. I think it might be the hammer Amr used to repair the fencing. I think it'd be okay if I put it in with today's baggage. That should be fine, and thanks, Charles. I'll probably need it for the sheep's fencing, so I'll bring it over later today. Oh, and about our food stockpile. Oh, look at them go. They're perfectly in sync. They do make for a perfect couple, don't they? Charles' father was stubborn at first, but he eventually came around on Thoma. That's great to hear. How long have you been all standing there? How long have you been whispering those things? Is it just me, or were you guys watching us? Oh my, perish the thought. To be young again. Good luck. Glad Grace is okay. I'm sorry if this is weird to say as an adult, but Grace is like danger walking, isn't she? You can't afford to take your eyes off her. But she's a guest here, so it's not that I mind watching over her. You sound pretty stressed over it. Oh no! I can handle this, no problem. Her finger reporter does remind me, though. Not so long after the war, Norton actually came back to the settlement to get our perspective on everything that happened. There was this time when he was in support of the war, but he had no clue why when he looked back on it. Said writing articles about the horrors of the war would be his way of repenting for it. Then he got an invite from someone named Nielsen, so he's reporting in another country now. It's nice that his sparks come back. I remember Norton. He was so fired up about getting good photographs during our field study. He also came and took a look at our communications equipment when it was broken. I remember Nielsen too. Hope we run into him again one day. Really? Hey. That like clearly Ouroboros affiliated guy. Jeez. I feel pretty bad about worrying the settlement. Anyway, I'm totally pooped from all that horseback riding, so don't mind me. I'm gonna take it easy. Fill me in if you find any good info. Gotcha. Will do. Ooh. Oh, did you feed Zeo for me? Thanks, Lily. You're welcome. It's fun when I get to help you. Besides, you always take Zeo with you when you leave, so I want to hang out with him as much as I can. Zeo says you've been lots of places with your friends from school, but he especially likes this place called, Arteria? It must be really colorful. I wonder if Zeo likes how the wind feels there. I shouldn't be surprised if she understands Zeo just as well as you do. Maybe it runs in their bloodline. Possibly. And then again, Zeo has been watching over the settlement ever since Lily was a baby. Interesting. Arteria, I assume that translates to. Where do we? I don't think it's close enough to. Yeah, I think Arteria is way to the west, if I remember correctly. Been a while since I thought about. Choosing to continue will cause the main story to advance. It was only my we go any further main story for every period. Proceed. Isn't this? The mirror's glowing, but is that a different color? I thought it was purple. It feels like something is happening.